this morning's front pages. Unsurprisingly, the coronavirus are dominating most of the headlines. Here's the Sunday Express reporting that, as we've been saying, over 70s could face a stay-at-home order, as the paper puts it, to tackle the outbreak.
The Sunday Mirror, meanwhile, leads with the latest government plans. The headline there is, "It's war on the virus."
Let's take a look at the Sunday Telegraph. It leads with Prime Minister puts industry on war footing to equip the NHS for the battle ahead.
And the most watched on the BBC website is a video on why we touch our faces and how to stop it. So many things like that habitually that you do. You used to turn a newspaper by licking my finger, but you just got to stop, haven't you?
Just so easy to put your hands, rest your head in your hands all the time. The government says it will soon be stepping up measures to protect people from coronavirus, including shielding elderly and vulnerable people.
Ministers have so far stopped short of introducing some of the strict controls that have been imposed on mainland Europe. It comes as the number of people known to have died from the virus in the UK reached 21.
EasyJet has joined Jet2 in cancelling flights to Spain. The airline announced it would be suspending all flights from Tuesday. It comes as the world's biggest carrier, American Airlines, has announced it's suspending nearly all of its long-haul international flights from Monday.
The White House says President Trump has tested negative for coronavirus. Mr. Trump underwent the check after being exposed to an infected person a few days ago. The news came hours after the US extended its travel ban to include Britain and Ireland. That will come into force early on Tuesday. Supermarkets are urging customers not to panic buy during the outbreak. Retailers and online sellers have faced huge demand, with pictures emerging of empty shelves in some stores. Members of the British Retail Consortium have written a letter urging us to be considerate when we're shopping to ensure there are enough supplies for everyone.
The world's facing many challenges with coronavirus, but there are also moments to warm your heart. The pandemic is bringing out the best in some people, with communities rallying to help those most at risk from the virus. This shop in Stenhouse Muir has been handing out free packs of hand sanitizer and face masks to the elderly.
And handing out packs to the elderly isn't the only act of kindness we've seen this weekend. There are plenty emerging on social media. Now, have a look at this form. It's been shared on Twitter and it's being used to offer help to vulnerable people who've decided to stay at home or self-isolate. Now, if you are doing something similar in your community, or if you know one of your neighbours is, or if something's happening at your local primary school to help inform children about how they can stop the spread of coronavirus, do let us know. It's been lovely to hear from you this morning.
And I know there's a huge demand. We all want, don't we, to find out the latest information and stuff we can trust, basically, in terms of the symptoms to spot and that kind of thing. There is loads and loads on the BBC website with advice for those with underlying health conditions, the symptoms, as I say, that we need to look out for. bbc.co.uk/news or the BBC News app.
There's some really good myth-busting on BBC Online as well that hopefully helps calm some fears.
The government is calling for the sort of national effort last seen during the Blitz. Part of that will be shoppers refraining from panic buying. All major supermarkets have published a letter in newspapers today saying, "We need your help. There is enough for everyone if we all work together." And there's more bad news for airlines and passengers. The UK has now been included in the US's travel ban, where President Trump has tested negative for the virus. The Foreign Office is advising against all but essential travel to Spain, where a national lockdown is in place. But that is one measure not imminently planned for the UK. Sam Holder, ITV News.
So a reminder, the main advice remains to thoroughly wash your hands with soap. If you have coronavirus symptoms, that's a fever and or a new persistent cough, do stay at home for 7 days. You won't be offered a test. Only use the NHS 111 service if you feel you cannot cope with your symptoms at home. More detail is available on itv.com/news.